Alright everyone, this is going to be one of the quickest updates to my build. As you can see, I have both 7s out today, the O2 and my ZX7R race bike with the flat slide carburetors. That will be getting its first start from this build series. So before I start it up, and I'm going to get to it, I want you to take note of the sound of my O2. Put you down for a minute. She purrs like a kitten, guys. I haven't cleaned these carbs in about 3 years, dude. I tell you, I put good gas in it, and when I'm not riding it, I throw stable in it, and she's been fine. Purrs like a kitten, starts right up if it's not too cold out, and the chokes wasn't even on. So here we go, guys. Without further ado, we are going to start the race bike, the flat slide carbs. Now keep in mind, before we start this, I don't expect the carbs to be perfect, so we just want to see how close I have the settings. It may be a little bit tough to start to get fuel into the engine, or it may start up right away, and once it starts, the idle may hunt. That's normal. We just got to figure out you know, where the sweet spot is. I may have to, I'm most likely going to have to pull this tank off, set the idle, and reset the fuel screws depending on what we see today. Alright, so here we go. So you see, it looks like it's running a little bit rich. It's not too hot out here today. It settles about 1,000 RPM, and then it looks like the carbs get full of fuel and then it dies, and that's okay. So we're gonna either play with the fuel screws, or we're just gonna bump up the idle. I may start with the idle first and just inspect the fuel screw settings and see where it's at. If it's more than 1 turn out, I'm gonna put them down to 1 turn out and still use that as a baseline. I'm gonna start it up. I'm gonna keep blipping it just so it can run a little bit. All right. that's it, guys. First start. Starts right up. And really happy with what I'm seeing from what we have. And you can hear the ring, 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 ring. That's the slides of the Flatslides rattling off of the car body. And you can even hear the cam lobe. Blub, 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 blub. That's the cam lobe for the big intake cam that we're running. So really happy. So what I'm probably gonna do, guys, and I may or may not do a video on it because it's a little bit tedious, but I'm gonna pull this tank off. I'm gonna set up a fuel bladder, and I'm gonna leave the top of the air box off, and I'm gonna tune the idle and get the idle to probably, I don't know, for this bike, this motor, I like it around 1400 RPM, only because it can fluctuate with temperatures. You know, with flat slide cars, a little bit harder to tune. So, you know, I like a little bit higher idle. You know, you may get out on a humid day and it doesn't idle as consistently, or it may be really cold and it may idle faster. So I'm going to try to find a sweet spot. I like about 1400 RPM, because if it's fast idle, it won't go higher than 1600, and if it's a slow idle, it won't go lower than 1100. So I think 1400 is the sweet spot for a 50-degree day like today. So gonna do that, double check the fuel screws, and that'll be it. We'll just get the body work going, and the body work will probably be right before the season starts. And I'm gonna do a few test rides, and I'll probably do a video of the first test ride, and we'll do maybe a dyno tune just to see what she's looking like. I may or may not do the dyno tune right away, but what I will do is put the LM2 gas analyzer made by Innovate Motorsports on the bike, and just do a log when I go on that test ride to see where the air fuel ratio is at while riding at quarter throttle, half throttle, 3/4 throttle, and full throttle. And you know, and go from there. You don't want to tune flat slides on the dyno because it's really hard to simulate true riding conditions. Flat slides are very sensitive to the ambient temps and, you know, just the conditions on the day. So you really want to get on bike logging, and the LM2, and I can show you guys that in another vid, is actually ideal for that. So one other thing, if you noticed on my O2, I had to pull in the clutch to start it. There's a little switch in here, and it's probably corroded or something, but it wouldn't start unless I pulled in the switch. And that's a very common thing for these bikes. If that happens to you and it won't start, you know your bike is in neutral and it won't start unless you pull it in. Don't panic. It's just a little clutch switch on this side of the bike by the clutch lever, and that's it. It's a cheap part. I forget how much it is. It's not too much. You should buy 3 or 4 of them and keep them in a drawer somewhere. I mean, they go bad every couple of years. That's normal. So guys, hope you enjoyed this update, and you know, like I said, just the body work is left, and I'm gonna clean up the forks. I'm gonna sand it with WD-40 and just make it a little smooth. That misfiring or that backfiring you heard is nothing to be worried about. The bike is running rich, so occasionally you get a little unburned fuel left in there, and it just ignites off schedule. So, you know, definitely running rich on the pilot circuit. Gonna get that tuned out. So hope you enjoyed these updates. Hope you guys are a fan of the ZX7s like I am. Really looking forward to running this bike this year on the track. And that's it. If you guys have any questions about this build, feel free to post in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up if you like it, or even better yet, subscribe. And so that's it for now. We got her running, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next update. That's all.